What should your startup vesting schedule be? You and your co-founder start your company, and you divide up the equity between you. It sounds simple enough. Then you raise money, and your new investors demand you have a vesting schedule for your equity. So the question is, are your investors right? Do you need a vesting schedule for your equity? In today's video, I'll explain why you want your equity to vest over time, what your equity schedule should be, what should you do if you didn't set up a vesting schedule when you started your company. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. Why you want your equity to vest over time. I remember when I started my company with my 4 co-founders. I thought we would be working together forever, building our company like a band of brothers. Agreeing on the equity split with my co-founders was really easy. It was just a simple conversation, and that was that. However, I'd never even thought about a vesting schedule for my equity or my co-founders' equity. In fact, I was very much of the mindset that all we needed to do was be protected from the greedy venture capitalists that were going to screw us. Then we raised our Series A funding of $12 million, and both of our investors, not surprisingly, demanded that our equity vest over time. So I asked my mentor and advisor, Dave, what I should do. And Dave said this. He said, your investors are right, and they're doing you a favor too by demanding a vesting schedule for your equity. I asked Dave why this was true. And Dave gave me this answer, which I think is absolutely perfect. What if one of your co-founders quits right after your funding closes? Then you'd have a bunch of dead equity sitting on your cap table. Now, sometimes your investors protect you from yourself. And sure enough, within 1 year, I had to fire one of my co-founders, and another co-founder quit. I can't even imagine what I would have done if we didn't have vesting schedules set up. Our investors' foresight had saved us from ourselves. Now here's the deal. Over 50% of all co-founder relationships do not work out. Indeed, well over half the CEOs I've worked with have dealt with a co-founder quitting or having to fire a co-founder. Having a vesting schedule for your equity protects you, your co-founders, and your investors. What should your vesting schedule be? The good news is there is a standard for what the vesting schedule is for you, your co-founders, and any future employees that you hire. Here it is. It's a 1-year cliff followed by monthly or quarterly vesting for the next 36 months. So the first question is what is a cliff and why does it need to be 1 year? Now this is a really good question. A cliff means nothing vests until the cliff ends. And a 1-year cliff is standard for startup vesting. The reason you want the cliff is that you'll know if a co-founder or an employee isn't working out before 12 months. And you don't want to give a large chunk of equity to somebody that didn't work out. It can make your startup unfundable. In my case, I knew that my co-founder, Randy, wasn't working out 5 months after we closed our funding. So I took the action that I needed to take and I fired Randy. Even though my company wasn't obligated, we still gave Randy what he would have vested. Now I think it's a fair question to ask if a founder or any employee for that matter should be given what they vest regardless of whether or not a year has passed. And I must admit that I've struggled with an answer to this question. Right or wrong, here's where I stand on this. I've seen too many deadbeat co-founders over the years who join a startup and literally do nothing. Why should they get anything if they are a deadbeat? And I think the cliff protects you, the CEO, from these deadbeats. My co-founder Randy wasn't a deadbeat. He just didn't work out. That's why I decided to give him the equity he would have vested. Now, what should you do if you didn't set up a vesting schedule when you started your company? Let's take a step back first. I know money is tight when you get started, but it is really worth every cent you spend to have an experienced attorney who's dealt with setting up founder equity agreements to set up your founder equity agreements. It will save you a lot of money and pain when one of your co-founders leaves the company. Now, if I haven't convinced you, then at the very least, write up something outlining what you and your co-founders are agreeing to. And make sure to include a vesting schedule. There are probably sample agreements that you can find online. I don't recommend going this route, but it's better than nothing. However, let's say you and your co-founders don't have a vesting agreement for your equity. Can this be fixed? And what happens if one of your co-founders quits and you don't have any vesting schedules in place? What do you do then? The good news is this is a painful but solvable problem. I've dealt with this situation with several CEOs that I've worked with. The solution is that you and your co-founders negotiate. Use a lawyer to act as your intermediary because this will help in the negotiations. Usually, what happens is you and your co-founder agree to an amount of vesting that is equal to what it would have been if there was a vesting schedule in place. But let's say that your co-founder is demanding an unreasonable payout in exchange for their equity. The answer is you just say this: no way. It's not going to happen. Remember, you have to do what's in the best interest of your company, period. End of story. And you can't put the company at risk because of paying off a co-founder. I can tell you that every time I've worked with a CEO in this situation, the problem has been solved. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. Here's a summary of what we've learned today. Number one, you need a vesting schedule for your equity, your co-founder's equity, and your employee's equity. Number two, the standard startup equity vesting schedule is 4 years with a 1-year cliff at the start. Number three, use an attorney with experience setting up startup equity agreements to set up your equity agreements. Number four, you can solve equity issues with a co-founder even if you haven't set up a vesting schedule. What did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now, I have one more thing for you today. It's my free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Click the link below today's video, and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the video at the end of today's video. And if you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get more great content for startup CEOs. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.